It's time for Outdoors in the Valley with your host, Jim Dugan on WJER. Outdoors in the Valley is brought to you by TMK Valley Propane in Bakersville. When looking for a reliable local propane provider, trust TMK Valley Propane. Affordable, friendly, professional, all the way with TMK. Outdoors in the Valley is coming up next.
All the way with TMK. Service with a personal touch.
TMK Valley Propane takes pride in giving our customers the best service. Locally owned and operated, we are part of your community and delivering the best possible solution. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy local.
All the way with TMK. Service with a personal touch.
Welcome to Outdoors in the Valley with Jim Dugan on WJER. This week, we will hear from local birder Dan Kramer on the importance of bird feeder maintenance, why you should be composting. State wildlife specialist Jamie Emmert has advice for avoiding vehicle deer accidents, and New Philadelphia High School teacher Kip Brady updates us on a tick study he has been doing with his students in Tuscarawas County. Those stories coming up on Outdoors in the Valley. Thanks for tuning in. House cleaning is a chore you can't escape. Even bird feeders and bird houses need attention. Regularly cleaning, disinfecting, and repairing your bird feeders is a must, according to local bird watcher Dan Kramer.
Some of these plastic feeders, and even the wooden ones for that matter, can hold bacteria if you don't clean them out regularly. And there have been some occasions where there's kind of a widespread transmission of some diseases that mostly cause conjunctivitis in birds. That's the inflammation of their eyelids, just because they're constantly sticking their faces in those feeders and one after the other, and they can spread stuff around.
And finally, once you start feeding birds, don't stop. Birds will depend upon your food for survival. By now, many of us are exhausted from constantly watering our flowers and gardens. But here's how you can cut back on all that watering and save money too. Start composting. Compost soil holds more moisture than regular soil, conserving water, which will save you money. Compost is good for your plants, and you will be reducing waste while helping to fight climate change. It is easy to compost, and anyone can do it. Just go online for a number of composting websites to learn more. You're driving along when suddenly a deer runs out in front of your vehicle. How should you react? Experts advise never swerve or leave your travel lane to miss a deer. Take your foot off the gas, brake firmly, and maintain control of your vehicle. Jamie Emmert is with the State Division of Wildlife.
Don't swerve. This may be a hard pill to swallow, but in reality, swerving to avoid an animal may result in losing control of the vehicle, and that could be even worse.
Always use extra caution when driving in deer country.
Going under the speed limit, using bright lights, and just being extra aware of your surroundings, especially at dusk and dawn when they're most active.
According to the Ohio Department of Insurance, the average damage from a car-deer collision can exceed over $4,000. Environmental science students at New Philly High are collecting data on the black-legged tick in Tuscarawas County. That tick, often called a deer tick, can carry Lyme disease. Teacher Kip Brady heads up the project.
When I first started teaching in New Philadelphia in 1999, there were no black-leg ticks known to be in Ohio. I think the first population of black-leg ticks that were identified in Ohio were in Coshocton County in 2010. Today, pretty much every forest I've been in Tuscarawas County, I will find black-leg ticks.
Brady explains how students collect the ticks.
We use a sheet of canvas flannel cloth called a tick drag, and we use that to flag across the vegetation, and then we collect them off the tick drags. We put them into small vials of alcohol, label the vial so we know where the sample came from, and then take them back to the lab.
The initial number of black-legged ticks capable of carrying Lyme disease in Tuscarawas County is surprisingly high.
We've tested a little over 200 ticks now from Tuscarawas County from 15 different sample sites. The average percent of ticks that have the Borrelia burgdorferi, this bacteria that causes Lyme disease, is around 45%. Some places have been low, like 10% of the ticks we've tested have tested positive. Some of the places have been very high, like 70% or more. southern part of Tuscarawas County has higher prevalence.
These findings are vital to researchers looking for connections between blackleg ticks and Lyme disease.
You can't really understand this disease without understanding quite a bit about ecology. Where does the disease exist in the environment? How do the ticks end up getting it and spreading it? All this stuff is important to understand. Right now we have a website for the New Philadelphia City Schools Tick Project. We have a map on there that we update that has sample sites, and it tells you the number of ticks we've tested and the number that were positive. We have just as much Lyme disease in our ticks, it looks like, as they do in a place like Lyme, Connecticut, where the name comes from.
That's New Philadelphia High School environmental science teacher Kip Brady. That's it for this week on Outdoors in the Valley. We would like to thank our guests, Dan Kramer, Jamie Emmert, and Kip Brady. If you have questions, comments, or story ideas, please email us at wjer@wjer.com. Miss an episode of the show? Check out the video section of wjer.com. Until next week at this same time, I'm WJER outdoor correspondent Jim Dugan. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks for listening to Outdoors in the Valley with your host Jim Dugan on WJER. Brought to you weekly by TMK Valley Propane in Bakersville. Online at tmkvalleypropane.com.